Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hey folks, Sunday, oops, camera just slid, there we go. Hey folks, Sunday, the 3rd of May, 2026, we got past that commie socialist May Day. It's now the 3rd of May. Welcome back to the program on a Sunday. My guests today are South Africans who have recently arrived in the Wolverine state. No, it's not X-Men. It's actually the name of the state, Wolverine state, also known as the Great Lakes state of Michigan. It's Walter and Yvonne, and their kids are off screen, but Bella and Max may be popping on screen at some point. So guys, goedemorgen.
Good morning, Colonel. Good morning, everybody.
So welcome to the program. You guys look pretty happy. I think we've got some good news stories to talk about today. It sounds like you're doing quite well and adjusting to the United States. So how's it going?
Absolutely. No, we've and that's why I've been asking. I don't know if you remember, we've been like struggling to sort of meet up and time up the interview and whatever over the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit tough with you. But I really wanted to sort of, because before we came over, I promised you, I said, if we make it over, I'll give you an interview. And, but more importantly, it's just to share all of the positives that we've experienced, because it has been such a positive experience for us. When lately there's been a lot of the negatives sort of hanging in the air, we wanted to share some of the positives.
Okay, well, before we get into the positives, let me ask the standard questions so that the haters can steal my content and claim it's all about me, because, you know, that's what they're going to do. All right, so when did you first hear about the refugee program, and how did you hear about it?
Same as the majority of the people on your channel, heard it from you. I started watching you probably about, crikey, a couple of days before the announcement, realistically speaking. I came across your channel. Heard the announcement, and from then on out just followed every piece of advice to the letter, and here we are.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Okay, so PRM email, statement of interest, intake questionnaire, which, if any and all?
Okay, so the only thing we didn't do was the PRM email, because I knew we didn't have passports at the time, so I didn't bother. But as soon as I heard about the program, we started putting applications in for the passports and getting sort of all of the documentations and the unabridged certificates and all of that kind of stuff ready. And then we started with the statement of interest.
Okay, cool beans. But you did at least two of them. You did the intake questionnaire as well, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
because so far I don't recall interviewing anybody who hasn't done at least two of those steps. Because there's a lot of people making these claims that well, people just got in the program, they were contacted in January, they came over in March, or they're contacted in February, came over in April. And that may be true that they were contacted then, but the people I'm talking to that came over in the circumstances were all people that either did the PRM email, statement of interest, and the intake question, at least two of those things. So I think a lot of people are the misapprehension that people are just now applying in January and they're coming over immediately. There may be someone like that, but I haven't met anyone like that yet. So, all right, let me ask a few more of the basic questions, and then we're going to let you talk about all the positives, okay? So, all right, so when you came over, were you greeted at the airport by your agency or a representative pick you up? Did you go to temporary accommodation? If so, was it suitable? Did you wind up your permanent accommodation? If so, is that suitable? And we'll talk about that, because I suspect all that's going to be positive from your end. So why don't you tell us that story?
Yes. What a story it was. But like you say, we'll get to that. Yes, we were met at the airport by our caseworker. Yes, we did go into temporary accommodation, which was fantastic. And we needed to sort of have one attempt at permanent housing before we found this one. So our first one wasn't great, and we let them know as such, and subsequently found this one that we were more than happy with.
Now, when you went into the first one that wasn't necessarily so good, were you forced to sign a lease? And if so, how did you get out of it?
No, we weren't.
No, not at all. To the only piece of negative interaction that we've had throughout this entire process has been with our estate agent, actually. I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but sure, it seems like it's just a mission for that oak to be alive, let alone to do his job.
So let me get this straight. So the only bad experience you had has been with a real estate agent.
Yes, that's been completely miserable.
Well, welcome to America. We all have to go through that experience.
Oy, oy, oy.
Okay, so all right. So Social Security numbers. By the way, when did you arrive? And Social Security numbers, EADs, is that taken care of?
Okay, so the only thing for us that's still outstanding is the EAD. We arrived on the 1st of April, April Fools. So we've literally been here exactly 1 month now. We've got socials, we've got our learner's license, temporary driver's permit. We still need to get the actual license sorted. We've got Medicaid sorted, food stamps sorted, lease sorted, children are in school. Everything's just sorted.
Yeah, it's just work as well.
Oh, yes, and of course, then just sending out CVs en masse, resumes, en masse.
Okay, well, that's good. I was beginning to wonder if Yvonne was under some pressure there since she was silent, but she is speaking, so okay. I was about to tell her.
I'm just very nervous. Sorry.
Okay, no, I was about to tell you to blink twice if you're under duress. All right, but seriously. Okay, well, that all sounds like it's going pretty good so far. You guys didn't do the PRM email, so when did you do the statement of interest? Because you said you had to wait to get your passports and all. You chose to wait till you had all in order. When did you actually submit that? Do you recall?
So the statement of interest, I don't remember exactly what date, but there was an option on the statement of interest to specify whether you either had a passport or not, yes. Which I specified that I didn't, because at that point it was still like being applied for. And then we did the intake questionnaire. Now, she remembers the dates. I'm terrible with that.
On the 9th of November, we did that. On my birthday, we went to the morning to get our passports, and when we got back, we did the statement of interest.
No, the intake questionnaire.
She's got the dates right, but she got the terms wrong. So,
yes.
Yeah. No, okay, so would it be fair to say that, I mean, you didn't do it on the 12th of May, but did you do it in May, or did you wait a couple of months when you did the original statement of interest?
No, it was actually. I think it was like a. No. It was. I think it was March or April. I forget when the statement of interest came out.
I don't forget. I was at Wimpy at OR Tambo on the 12th of May when the when the first 59ers landed. So that's the day it came out. But you didn't do it that day, correct?
No, not that day. I think it was like a couple of days after.
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm trying. You did it in May. Okay.
Yes, correct.
And 11 months later, you arrived in America.
Correct. Yes.
I'm just trying to get a timeline here because I got all these people talking about how quickly it's going for some folks. Okay, so you waited. So that wait, 11 months, was that difficult?
Yes, it was.
In the beginning, yes, but thereafter, since we did what's the last one?
Intake questionnaire.
Yeah, since that one, I mean, we did that, like I said, on the 9th of May, 9th of November, and then the first call was on the 8th of December.
Yeah. So
before that, the long wait was.
Yeah, but I mean,
wasn't sure.
Once we got our first call, every single step of our process happened at a cadence of about 2-week intervals.
Yes.
All throughout. Every 2 weeks for us, something happened.
To do.
So what about Bella and Max? What was, you obviously must have told them about this when you first expressed your interest. What were their thoughts? I mean, I'm sure they have friends in school. They're like, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah, they've actually got a couple of friends in the chat. No, we kept it quiet from them because they were in a school that was a little bit liberal, for the lack of a better term. And we just tried to keep it as quiet as we possibly could. In fact, some of our best friends literally only heard about this when we got our tickets and we said, okay, cool, we're flying out next week, bye. But then there's obviously my parents knew, or my mother rather knew from the moment we did the intake questionnaire, but we kept it as quiet as we possibly could.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it's a very serious situation that you're considering. First off, moving abroad is one thing, but moving abroad under these circumstances is something that's not necessarily. So I talked an awful lot throughout this past year about operational security, using the military term OPSEC, and about the need to keep this quiet. In fact, a friend of mine who just arrived is now drafting his resignation letter after he arrived, a week after arriving in the States.
Oh. Holy crap.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it once and it's been true ever since. Loose lips sink ships. It's as simple as that. It's simple.
So there's a message here from Bernice Edlingshuis. It says, love you guys so much. There's a couple other ones from other folks with the same surname. I'm going to guess they must be related to you in some way.
That's the friends. The kids as friends, as family.
Okay, well, there you go. So that's welcome to them, and thanks for joining us here. We really appreciate you joining the stream today. So, guys, as I said, that had to be a little bit frustrating for you. Did we meet at one of my meet and greets? I don't recall.
No.
Okay. Why not?
We never went.
No, just kidding.
How much time do we have, Colonel?
Oh my goodness. So where did you guys come from? What part of South Africa?
Came from Johannesburg, from Boksburg.
Okay, I was going to ask you from Brockpan. I wasn't sure.
No.
Okay, just asking. Anyway, so this Yvonne, for you, was there any traumatic aspect of this, or you just is it something you said we got to do this, or you like were you hesitant at all, or give me your thoughts on how this process went for you personally?
She gets a bit emotional.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Listen, Kathy and I were crying yesterday. She made me cry, so you guys can be emotional.
We were watching, yes.
Yes. You know what? In a way, Walter was the one that just kept everything going and said, okay, we need to do this, because technically I was working till the end, basically. So he was doing the majority of watching and doing and checking what we need to do and so forth. So I just went with the flow, basically. But by the end, obviously, to greet some people. Sorry.
Nah, it's quite all right. It's look, I said from the outset, didn't I, Walter? You've been watching this since a couple of days before the refugee thing. I said from the very beginning, this is not easy. It's not something to take light. It's not immigration. It's not simply moving to another place. It's hard. And also said it's going to break some families up, didn't I?
Yeah. Yes. And we were very, very blessed and lucky that the people around us were supportive for the most part. There were some, shall we call them, stragglers that were not so happy and not so supportive. But, at the end of the day, this move wasn't for us. It was for the children. It's as simple as that. Yes. There's no rocket science.
It is mainly for them.
I've said this, I've probably told this story a million times to everybody that I've had to explain our decision to, 20 years down the line, whether they decide to be train drivers or doctors or grass cutters or whatever, 20 years down the line, whether they make it or not, I want it to be because of their own merit and because of their own choices and their own support structure and stuff like that, not because of some or other government involvement, whether they make it in life or not. And that's been the primary thing for me.
Well, that's a common theme I hear over and over from those who've come over who have children. They did it for their kids because some folks have come over, they're doing well, they still have jobs, even despite BE and things like that, and even despite having been attacked for their skin color. It's not about them, they say, it's about their kids. And I think that's a fair thing to say. So obviously that's a primary motivation for why you did this, Walter.
Yes. No, 100%. Look, me personally, I have been in love with America since a very young age, and I've been wanting to come here my whole life. So from that point of view, it's a bonus. But in fact, I don't know if you remember, many years ago there was a computer game called America's Army. I don't know if you remember that.
Don't know that one.
Not okay. In any case, so it was more or less tried to be like a simulation of what it's like to join the army back in the day. In fact, it was developed by the army as well. And in my naivety way back then, I actually sent the army an email and said, listen, I want to come and join the army. Here I am. Come and fetch me. I'll join. And they basically said to me, listen, dude, calm down. You're not a citizen. It's not going to happen. Relax.
Well, yeah, the rules can be a little onerous at times. So I guess I'm going to make Yvonne tear up a little bit more here. Simon Redlingshuis says, we're in tears because we miss you guys.
Yeah,
wow.
That's the kids' friends and their best friends. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, gosh, let's try to pick a different topic here before we all start having the rivers flow here. We know that I'm kind of a softie, so we'll try not to go that. Fonz said he did 100% for his daughter. Of course, Fonz is in Denver. I don't think he likes Denver very much, but he's very happy to be in America. So,
hey, Fonz, I've been watching you as well.
He's a riot. Fonz is hilarious. Okay, guys. So, what did you do, Walter? What was your field? You're not a farmer, right?
No. I'm a.
Wait, stop! Wait! This is only for white farmers. What are you doing here? Get out! I mean, I listen to South African media. This is for white Afrikaner farmers, and you don't fit the bill. So I'm sorry, you can't stay here.
Look, I'm a Boertjie at heart. I mean, I'm full Afrikaner, but no, that was definitely not my profession. I'm an IT consultant. I had my own business in South Africa, which took a little bit of a knock during COVID, but I kept it sort of afloat since then until now. Yeah, and that's what it was. It wasn't anything outlandish or spectacular. Simple IT technician.
Sorry, I don't have any mods here for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Give me a second here. I got to take care of some jerk.
No problem.
Okay. We've got the clowns coming on. They're just so desperate for attention. You guys should really, you trolls, release your appendage because there's not enough oxygen reaching your brain, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. My mods seem to be asleep or not present, so I'm going to have to do the job myself, which means we'll have to interrupt from time to time. Anyway, I'll try to do that so you don't notice it, but let's just give me a heads up because that's the second time I've had to intervene. I don't know where the mods are today. They must be asleep. They don't get paid, so I guess I can't yell at them for not being here.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, you know what? They come, they go. They're not important. It's as simple as that. It's simply because there's not much happening in their lives that they choose to do the things they do. It's as simple as that.
Indeed, that is definitely the case. People with sad lives. Kathy is here. Good to see
Hi,
you,
Kathy. We were watching you yesterday.
Yeah, how was that? Did you guys enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a very good interview. I loved Kathy's, her story is quite unique, actually, with the way that her family is literally spread all across the globe and so on. And it was amazing. I loved that interview.
Yeah, I don't think it's all that unique. I know a lot of South Africans, they're adults, South Africans, their kids are in Australia or the UK or something like that. It's kind of sad to see, actually.
In fact, Yvonne's cousin is in the UK as well.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate. That might be as bad or worse in South Africa at some point.
Yeah, no, those guys are not having a good time at the moment. I don't know what has gotten into them, but I think they're leaning a little bit too far at the moment.
They are, as is Ireland. Ireland's even in worse shape. 1 out of 4 people in Ireland doesn't belong there. That's just pretty crazy. 1 out of 4. That's even higher than anywhere else.
Yeah.
It is crazy, especially the way they're treating the Irish government. But let's focus on your experience here. So you're in Michigan. I went to high school and college in Ohio, and there's this rivalry between Ohio State and Michigan, which strangely enough, I never really got into because I hate Ohio State. I went to a real university, not a small farming and tech school where they milk cows in Columbus, but I went to a real school of academic learning, Ohio University, the Ohio University. So I was never a fan of Ohio State, the Scarlet and Gray. And I always rooted for the Michigan Wolverines in those games when I was growing up. But I'm sure that a lot of people from Columbus wouldn't like to hear that. But what's it like for you in Michigan? Are you a little surprised by what it's like? Or, happily surprised, confused surprised, disappointed surprised? What's it like arriving there?
You want to take this one? Or
Come on, Yvonne.
Okay. No, look, I think we've had some really cold days, which was a bit harsh. But other than that, the people, the neighbors, people in stores, governmental services, Uber drivers. It's just literally the only like unfriendly person that we've met has been the estate agent. Everybody else has been absolutely beautifully welcoming.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, what you see on television is not America. So people profess that is America. I mean, that's part of America, but the Kardashians and Knight Rider are certainly not America. It's very different when you meet people, particularly people in the Midwest, and Michigan is a Midwestern state. And Michigan's interesting too if you get a chance to get out and get around eventually, because you go upstate, it's quite beautiful, the nature, and then you've got the Upper Peninsula. It's like a whole other world up there. But is somebody playing with Lincoln Logs in the background? I hear some banging going on.
I know, they were just so the place that we're in, sound actually travels quite far. So even when the neighbors do some things, we can kind of hear what they're doing and so on. So when the children open and close the bathroom door, it resonates through the whole building.
Okay, but the place you're in, it's suitable. I mean, it's safe and it's clean.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We've got a little bit of a leak in the kitchen from the ceiling at the moment, but that's hopefully being sorted soon. But other than that, no hassles whatsoever.
No. So the landlords the landlord is actually responsive to repairs?
Well, more or less.
Yes.
No, him and I had a bit of a scuffle a couple of days ago, and I said to him, because I messaged him about a week ago about the problem already, and he didn't even answer. And then the one evening while I was preparing food, I think you'll remember every single time that I was trying to join your streams in South Africa, I was always cooking. So I was always in the kitchen listening to you while I was busy cooking. And a couple of times now I've been cooking here, and the water from the ceiling, I prepare my food in like bowls, and those drippings fall into that prepared food, and then I have to toss that away, and I absolutely hate wasting food. And that one afternoon that it happened was after 5. It happened to be after 5, and I got on the phone immediately, and I said to him, listen, dude, I've just had to throw away food again. What is the problem? What is happening? And he lost his trolley and said to me that he's not a 24-hour service, and he just went off the rails. And then when he got here, I confronted him and I said to him, listen, dude, I don't want immediate response, but at least let me know I have received your message and I am working on it. And he said to me, no, sorry, that's not how it works in America. They don't reply to messages. You must just know that it's being worked on. And I said, no, I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Now he's full of crap. That is how it works in America. They have an obligation.
Exactly.
They have a legal obligation as a landlord, owner of the property, to be responsive. That's a health and safety issue. In fact, he could be fined for that by the state of Michigan. So if you're listening, landlord, get your crap together or I'll turn you in, because this is unacceptable. You don't treat people like that. You must respond. Each state has different laws when it comes to this, but they're pretty universal when it comes to health and safety. That's a health and safety issue. It's like putting somebody in an apartment that doesn't have a smoke alarm or has a non-functional smoke alarm. That's not even allowed in any state that I'm aware of. It's unsafe. So Heidi says, Heidi says, listen, dude, I'm from Boksburg.
Yeah, no, listen, my wife was like, calm down. And I said to her, no, it's not going to fly, because especially when it comes to food, it's not going to fly.
All right, well, let's talk about school. So Bella and Max are in school. How long have they been in school? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And how are they finding it? I guess we'll have to ask them if they come on camera.
Yeah, they're very happy. 3 weeks that they've been in school. They got into school like literally after the first week of being here. They got into school very, very quickly. They're in Adams Middle School at the moment, and they're loving it. We spoke to the vice principal a couple of days ago. There was a boy that was a bit too hands-on with Bella, so she went and complained, and the vice principal phoned us and said to us, listen, this is what happened, we're dealing with it. And they said they absolutely love the children, they get along well with the children, so it's great. It's just great.
That's really good to hear. Yvonne, that must be very warming for you. I mean, I'm sure that a concern would have been before you came over is, what about the kids and their schooling?
Exactly. I mean, I must be honest, I was very surprised when the principal phoned.
Not the vice president.
Yeah, sorry.
JD Vance is not there.
When she phoned to say that this is happening and that they're dealing with it, because I must be honest, in SA, that wouldn't have happened.
No.
You wouldn't have had a call, nor would they have tried to do anything about it at all.
In fact, there would have been an argument about it.
Yes. So that was quite an experience to have. The same with they were there a few days, and then the school clinic phoned to say that they need to go, or they went for like what you call it,
physicals, because they want to take
because
part in
it
sport.
was it was close to sport time, and Bella wanted to do middle distance. And then the clinic did a whole checkup, and then they phoned us to say, listen, they've done the physics and this is what they picked up. And that was also quite surprising, because in SA that there's no such thing. So it's very nice to hear there is things for them, or they are looking after them at school as well. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every time I played sports in school, I had to have a physical examination before I could do the sports. I mean, they do that so that something doesn't happen to kids. That's universal across the country. It's not something you're just going to see in Ohio or Michigan. You're going to see it everywhere.
Yeah.
In order for kids, particularly in high school, because you start getting into sports that are more stressful. And, like you talk about, she runs middle distance, that would be track and field. And track and field it can be very stressful on the body, particularly if you're running long distances or you're sprinting or something like that. And then, of course, we have contact sports like football and things like that. It's American football. So they've got to make sure kids are going to be healthy. So, so that's the first time someone's told me about that. I'm glad to hear that you were pleasantly surprised by that.
Yes, definitely.
We were definitely surprised.
Like I said, we're not used to service like that.
No.
At all.
In fact, we were not on really good footing with their school in South Africa at all. They were very unreasonable people. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to.
Well, my experience, not having attended school, but having dealt with schools in Africa, in Southern Africa especially, but not exclusively, is that schools seem to exist for the schools, not for the students, is my experience.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and that doesn't matter whether it's public or it's doesn't matter if it's public or private school. That seems to be the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, 100%.
In fact, honestly, it's a miracle that South Africans are educated. Some of the stuff I've seen.
No, agreed. And it's the children went to school because they had friends there. They didn't go to school because they enjoyed their time there.
Yes. Where now it's different.
Yeah.
They're
actually enjoying school now.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, where are they at? Come on, Bella, Max, come on. Where are you guys hiding at? Get out here and join us.
Let me call them quickly. Bella? Come.
What's Max?
Come say hello. They're still half asleep, to be honest.
Half asleep? It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, believe it or not, they're sleeping late.
Say hello to the Colonel.
Hi.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
All right. Well, we had some questions about school. So, Bella, how's school?
Good, except I can't do my track.
Because you had a medical thing you got to deal with, yes? Is it something they can fix so you can do it later on?
Well, we're going to go on Tuesday.
We'll hear on Tuesday.
Okay, good. And what about you, Max? How's school?
It's nice. It's just repetitive and boring.
Because you've already done it?
Yeah.
All right, so guys, listen to me. Here's something you're going to need to know, okay? It may be repetitive and boring because you've already done it, but you're going to spend this year doing this, and you're going to be 1 year older, and then you're going to be taller and more physically fit and stronger than your peers in school. So you can be superstars in sport when you go through high school. Think about that.
I'm gonna be a year younger.
What's that?
I'm gonna be a year younger than what I'm supposed to be in grade 8, because I only turned 13 in grade 8. Because, I'm born in August.
Grade 7 right now.
Max.
That's okay, guys. That's no big secret. We would have figured it out. Anyway, but you guys are happy. You're doing well.
Yeah, I like working on a computer for a change.
Yeah, that must be nice. Okay, what about you, Max? You get to work on a computer yet or no?
Yeah, instead of pens and papers, we use computers, which is better.
Yeah, and we get to play games, but then sometimes when they tell us we must do our work, they block our internet, so that means no games.
Well, you're not supposed to be playing games. You're supposed to be studying. You're in school.
It's when we have free time and when we sneak a little bit of games.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always going to be sneaking, eh?
All right. So some things with kids are universal. They're all trying to get over all the time, everywhere. Anyway, well, guys, thanks for joining us. We just want everybody to see you and see how you're doing. It looks like, are you missing anything from back home other than your friends?
No. Not at all.
Bella did not hesitate. She said no.
I did not like my school. The teachers there were torturing me.
Torturing you? Oh, my goodness. That's terrible. Max, you miss anything?
I miss my friends, and I miss nothing else.
Well, there you go. That's fair enough. Some of your friends are in the chat, and they've been saying hi to you guys.
Oof. Yeah.
Oh, hi, friends in the chat.
It's just not to be that.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for popping on. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Wait, there's a hand coming down there like this. All right. Well, Walter, there you go. Just a little bit there because we've got Yvonne was missing part of her there, so now she's in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks for bringing the kids on. I think that was very refreshing for folks to see. Look, I don't know your kids from Adam and Eve, but I can tell you that they look very happy.
They are. They are very happy. You know, Colonel, there's something that's happening here that we could never do in South Africa in a million years. The kids walk out of the door into the street, find other children in the street, play in the street until 7:30 at night, and walk back from the street into the house. That little sentence that I just explained there is I would never have allowed in South Africa. And it is, I cannot explain to you the joy that I have as a father for my children being able to play in the street.
Okay, so just a little advice. I get the point. I think you're giving expression, but I hope your kids aren't playing in the street because there's traffic. Okay.
No. No, this neighbor, the neighborhood's really nice. Even the people that do drive up and down our street, because there are so many children in the street here, it's very calm. There's no like people treating it like a racetrack or something like that. It's really very calm and quiet and calm and quiet. That's all it is. Yeah.
So what about shopping? I don't know if Walter says he does cooking. I don't know if he does the cooking. Yeah. He does cooking, but do you both shop or one of you do the shopping? How's that work? And what's it like here? Because it's no Pick and Pay, no ShopRite, none of that. So how's it going?
You take this one.
Why must I take it?
No, it's been a bit of a challenge because we're quite far away from. I say far away. Our biggest challenge since we've gotten here. And right now has been transport. That's the biggest challenge. Yes. So our closest supermarket is a Kroger, which is about 2.2 miles away from us. We did walk it one day. Took us 3 hours there and back.
Yes. Well, that's including the shopping time too.
Oh yeah, including the shopping time too.
But yeah,
we didn't get too much because we knew we had to carry it back.
Yes.
But other than that, shopping in general has been amazing. Meat has been a complete different experience here. And one thing I must mention, you know, people say the meat tastes different, the Coke tastes different and all kinds of stuff like that. And I know you've mentioned it as well. I can't taste that difference.
No.
Really, I can't. To me, it's beef tastes like beef, pork tastes like pork.
Somebody asked what a mile is. A mile is 1.6 kilometers. You're going to have to adapt.
Yeah.
Okay. If you come over here.
Yeah.
Cars typically have miles and kilometers on the speedometer.
Yes.
But you're going to have to adapt. People express things in miles. I was a soldier, so we express things in kilometers just because that's how we measure things, much more accurate, easier to do. I think the Europeans came up with the metric system because they weren't very bright. They couldn't handle standard American equivalents. That's why they did it. Everything had to be based on 10 because they can't divide and subtract very well, the Europeans. That's why they don't invent anything. We invent most things. Anyway, but seriously. Well, that's a bit of a hike there. I was going to say, I mean, were you like low crawling there like a soldier? It took you 3 hours to go 2.2 miles. I mean, that's not even 4 kilometers. You can't do 8 kilometers in 3 hours.
It's me. I'm the slow one.
But because still, I mean, that's...
I don't know what it is, but I have noticed now with us walking so much to get places, after a little while, my ankle starts hurting. So I don't know exactly what is causing it, but maybe I wasn't too active on the other end. And now I'm more active. And so because of that, I slow him down with taking a bit longer to walk.
Well, it could be that. It could be that you weren't active and your body's getting adjusted to that. And as you start using muscles that you haven't been using, in a certain way. Or
even though that side, I used to catch the car train. So I did run a few times to catch the train.
So you didn't miss the train.
So I did have some exercise. And I mean, I did walk from the outside the office park into the office, but not 2.2 miles. Not 2.2 miles though.
People are telling you to buy some good techies. I think you guys mean tennis shoes here in America, not techies.
Yeah.
So, all right, but that is a bit of a hike. Is there a bus system at least so you can get around?
Okay, so there are buses here, but not in our area. It's basically on the main roads where the buses exist, and we are quite far from the nearest main road. And the buses also only travel north, south, east, west. They don't sort of follow like a zigzag route. So if you want to sort of get to a place that's on a map diagonally away from southeast or northwest from you, you've got to sort of catch multiple buses in order to get there. But we haven't been able to use the bus service yet because it's never been sort of in an area or destination that we wanted to get to.
Yeah. So
the bus system, okay, that's helpful. But what about your apartment? Was it furnished or did it come unfurnished?
No. In fact, we are sitting on our mattress at the moment.
It's crazy because, I mean, I've rented almost my entire life when I was in the States, and I always was able to find places that are furnished, yet virtually none of the refugees have been put into furnished apartments. I don't know if something's happened in the rental market or they're just doing this intentionally. I don't know, but it seems odd to me because everywhere I've ever rented in my life in the U.S. was furnished. I mean, that was an option. So it seems weird, but I mean, I don't know any refugees that moved into places that were already furnished.
Yeah, I think maybe that's important to mention the way it works here, and perhaps I can tell you a bit more about our agency as well in that respect. So what our agency has is they've got a sort of a deal with this estate agent, this sloth, I call him, that he has owners of places that he can speak to in order to get people leases without bank details or work details. And from that point of view, I think they work on we take what we can get basis, because it is an issue. I've got a friend down in Pennsylvania that has just, I believe you've spoken to him a couple of times, I won't mention him, that he was recently in a predicament where he cashed out, in inverted commas, and then he now had to go and secure a lease of his own. And he wasn't able to do so, even though he has a job now. So that's a really difficult thing to do in America without assistance like that. And thankfully, he did get assistance, and he is now in a place. But that's kind of why I think, I don't know why the majority of the places are either a little bit run down or perhaps unfurnished or whatever. But I mean, our place is not at all run down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's a nice place, and we didn't see much there, but it does look like it's a nice place. So that is a challenge, as you've indicated. One of the problems you have when people come over here, even if you're not a refugee, you don't have a credit history. You don't have a social security number initially, and those are all issues. Landlords typically check credit histories. They're allowed to do that. And why would you do that? Well, if somebody has a 450 credit score, which by the way is a terrible score, out of 850, if you have a 450 credit score, there might be a reason for it. Maybe you failed to pay your rent for 4 or 5 months at a previous place. And that's a risk that a landlord does want to take because they have to pay mortgages or loans for the buildings they have, plus maintenance. So that's a real issue. So it's understandable how these agencies go out and try to find places they can work with that don't require that. In Columbus, Ohio, we had the folks in Dublin who initially were taken to a place that was unacceptable, and then they, on their own, found a place they thought was nice, and they asked the agency to negotiate for them. Unfortunately, when the agency talked to them, they said, we have Africans coming over. Like, no, we're not taking Africans. Not because they were racist, but because it had a lot of Africans who'd come and lived in that complex previously. And they trashed the place. They had destroyed the apartments. Yeah. And so they said, we're not taking Africans. So the South Africans are like, well, we're African, but we're not that kind of African. So they all went over there and they went to the office on their own accord and met with them, and then the agent there said, "Oh, well, you're like normal people here. You have values." And so many of the South Africans now live in that complex. So that was understandable. But so they didn't have to have that credit history, and they're living in a lovely neighborhood. It's a beautiful spot in a beautiful part of Columbus. Dublin is quite nice. Wendy's, the restaurant, their international headquarters, is located about a kilometer from where they're staying.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah. I mean, just perhaps back onto our agency, I must just compliment them. We've been really blessed and lucky to have the caseworker that we've had, and also the agency in general that we've had. They've been accommodating in every single sense of the word, and more importantly, and I think this is perhaps something that I don't believe I've mentioned anybody. I don't believe I've heard anybody mention this yet. But our agency also had a nice sort of timing to kick us out of the nest, per se. If you catch my drift, in not leaving us or hanging us out to dry, but slowly starting to shift some responsibility to us, and therefore, and thus getting us on our own 2 feet and being able to function better without just blindly relying on them as well. It's been great. It's been absolutely great from that point of view.
Well, I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's a fine line that agencies and case officers have to discover with each case, because every family is different. Some families need more care and feeding than others. Some families are, frankly, have a few Karens in them that have to be addressed. Other families are kind of self-starters. So you've got to find that happy medium, and also the resources aren't there for very long to take care of the basic needs. So I get what you're saying. It's kind of like a bird, you get your little, you hatch your eggs, and then the little birds, you feed them for a few weeks, and then you're like, hey, it's time to test those wings.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, to give you an example, the first time we went to the Social Security office, you get receipts for having applied for your Social Security number, and you need to use those receipts in order to apply for your, or not apply for Medicaid, but in order to prove that you have applied for your Social Security number, because that's, I believe, a prerequisite or something to that effect.
Right. You cannot get Medicaid or Medicare unless you have a Social Security number. So you have to prove you've applied for it. So I guess I say allow you to apply because you're going to get the number in short order.
Right. Yes. So we had left the Social Security office without getting Max's receipt. So we were one receipt short. And so we just went back there by ourselves at some other point, and a week later, and we asked for a receipt. And the lady that we spoke to at the counter, she actually said to us, she had noticed that there had been a lot of South Africans that have recently arrived. So in the mornings when she comes in, the first thing she does before she carries on with her daily duties is she then tries to push through all of our Social Security applications. And once she's done that, then she starts with the rest of her duties. And then we got the receipt that we needed, but then she also picked up that our application had been wrongly entered or wrongly captured or something to that effect. And she said to us, don't worry about it. I will redo your application. You guys can go home and relax. And literally a week later, our Social Security numbers were in the post.
Now, see that you found the right bureaucrat, someone that actually cares about the work they do in their job.
Exactly.
Yeah. So listen. I mean, I don't do this to embarrass agencies or agents. And in fact, when I've come across those who do a great job, like in Twin Falls and in Harrisburg and also in Las Vegas, we mention who they are so people know they're doing a great job. Do you mind mentioning what your agency is or who they are?
Do you want to just get that? I don't know it off the top of my head. USCRI.
I don't know that.
USCRI.
So let's see what
She's
says.
just getting the documents in the meantime. While she gets those, here we go. It is the U.S. Committee for Immigrants and Refugees.
Okay. And you say your case officer's also been brilliant as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah, no, fantastic guy.
And what's his name?
He did scare us in the beginning.
Yeah,
when we arrived.
Is he an American or a recent arrival himself?
No, he's been here, I believe.
2016, I think he said.
2016. Okay, he's a Syrian.
Syrian. Okay. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, and he's been fantastic.
Well, that's great to hear. You know, we've had a lot of cases where the case officer's been fantastic, really go either way. I think something a lot of people don't realize, I don't know how your case officer is, but a lot of people don't realize these case officers often have a lot of cases. Now, the upshot of that is right now, with only South Africans coming over, the numbers being far smaller than what we've seen the past several years of refugees, they should have a lot more time to help you initially. But I mean, the guy in Harrisburg has 38 cases.
Yeah, and that's something that he explained to us. And literally a day after our caseworker explained it to us, then you mentioned it on one of your streams as well. And it lined up perfectly. You know, when President Trump canceled all refugees on the 26th of January, they had to sort of look into laying people off, and they had to lay off a very large contingent of their workforce. Mm-hmm. And now that our own program is starting to pick up and there's a larger number of people coming through, all of a sudden they're running short on people and they have to employ people again, and it's catching some of them out.
Yeah, that's a real challenge. I mean, it's, to be fair to the agencies, it's an up and down sort of thing, and it's nowhere near as far up as where they were. They had geared up to take in 100,000 people per year, which takes a lot of manpower. So, I think it's fair to defend these agencies when it comes to that. But when they come up short, we'll definitely call them out. So, Michigan, what are you thinking? Are you okay with staying there for now? I mean, obviously, you're going to need an automobile and a permanent driver's license at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, my and two of the people that are also, one is still on his way here, and one, like I said, is in Pennsylvania. Our dream is to end up in Montana at some point in time. That's where we would love to be. However, I'm in no rush. This is a beautiful place. It's a friendly place. No rush whatsoever. That's more a dream than a necessity.
Well, I was looking the other way on the screen there. I was trying to change the view so we're all on screen again. So look, I mean, I appreciate that. I want to live in Wyoming, but just not the time right now for me to get there. So everything comes in its good time. But why Montana? Exactly. Are you like cowboys? What's going on?
No, Colonel, like I said to you, I've been in love with this country since a very young age, and the biggest thing that I'm in love with about this country is its patriotism. I don't believe that there is any other citizen on the face of this planet that loves their country more than American does. And that is just something that perhaps my father experienced and their fathers could have experienced, but that I could never experience. And it's been a draw. It's been a very strong magnetic draw for me all of my life. And I've always wanted to experience loving my country, which I just haven't been able to do. And so in all of that time and in all of that sort of because, like, as you know, this country is huge, and the amount of differences in people, in places, in climate, in cultures, in everything is huge. And out of all of that, Montana just appealed to me the most. The nature, the type of people, not necessarily the cowboy sort of thing, but just, I would say, the nature, most of it.
So, Walter, I hate to break this to you.
Here we go.
But if you think Michigan is cold, you're in for a hell of a surprise when you get to Montana.
No. I know. No, it's further north, and Yvonne's been on my case about that. She's like, but listen, it's going to be colder there. I'm like, it's okay.
So Montana is not cold. It's god-awful cold. But
it's gonna be be a long while before we go there.
I see. But no, but seriously, but I mean, that's great because your values, I assume, align along conservative line. It sounds like that's the case.
Yes.
And Montana could use more conservatives. They have this bad habit of electing Democrats occasionally, and so it's good to see more conservatives head out there. Montana's amazing, and it's right on the Canadian border too. So you got those wannabe Americans just across the border.
Yeah, I mean, we could literally toss a stone into Canada from where we are now as well. So it's more or less close enough. So
well, if you could toss a stone from there, you're one of the X-Men. It's a little further than you think it is.
Yeah.
No, but literally directly east of you, Canada is actually south of where you're sitting. Yeah.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are like, which major American cities north of Canada? Well, Detroit. Detroit's north of Canada. Yep.
North of Canada. Yes.
Yeah. Because that little piece of Ontario comes down just below
it. Sticks up in there. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So
yes, we noticed that night when we had the tornado alarm.
You had
on the news.
You had a tornado.
What we need to do.
You had a tornado. Tell us about that.
Twice.
Once,
the first time it happened in the hotel, and we were up in the hotel room and just sitting and minding our business. And the next minute, my phone went absolutely, excuse my language, apeshit. And I was like, what? I don't recognize that noise. My phone's never made that noise before. And I look at my phone, and it's literally as it is in the movies. It's like, there is a tornado coming, take cover, wada, wada, wada. And I was like, oh, crap. And I said to her, listen, and I look out the window, and I'm like, but there's nothing going on. And I said, okay, hang on. Let me walk down to the lobby. Let me see what other people are doing, and then we'll take it from there. So I rushed down to the lobby, and I was looking, and people were sort of noticing it, but nobody was in like a real panic. And I said to her, okay, you know what? I'm not messing around. Let's just all go downstairs, and we'll take it from there. So we all went downstairs, and we actually found a couple from Oklahoma down there and they were in the middle of an F5 in 2011. They were caught by it, and they had genuine fear on their faces. Shame. I felt so terrible for them. It was like, I hate using this analogy, but it's the only thing that I can equate it to. They looked like dogs that have been abused and that is noticing it coming again. It must have been hugely traumatic for them. And but we waited it out, and nothing happened. And then about 2 weeks after we moved in here,
No, I think it was actually in the first week.
Oh, in the first week, like 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone goes ape crap here next to me, and I'm like, what is going on now? And I look at my phone, and it's the same thing again. It's a tornado warning. And this time, I mean, to give you an example, this house is obviously, it's built of wood. And sometimes when the neighbors mess around too much next door, I can literally feel my floor move because, I mean, it reverberates, right? So you've got to know that if a tornado comes through here, the house is not going to stand up straight. That's for sure. And so I was looking on my phone, I was looking out the door, and I had figured out the direction. So I noticed that the wind was coming more or less from the northwest, and I was looking at the weather channel and where the storm was coming from. The storm was moving at 60 miles an hour, and it was going to pass us in like 10 minutes time. And literally the storm passed like right below us, and we managed to miss it. But also it didn't turn into a rotation at all either.
Well, it's not all that common to have tornadoes in Michigan. It's not impossible. You get them more frequently in Ohio, and there they're not even all that common. But Kansas, Nebraska, those are places you get lots of tornadoes. Iowa. So when we moved to Ohio in 1978, we lived in a trailer on the edge of a maize field, a cornfield, somebody's farm. They carved out a little lot, put a couple trailers in there so they can make money. And we were living there temporarily for a while. The week after we moved out of there into more permanent housing on Oakthorpe Road in Fairfield County, Ohio, a tornado came through, right through where the trailers were, picked both trailers up, and they landed about 2 kilometers from where they were. Nobody was occupying them at the time because we had moved out. But if we'd moved a week later, I probably wouldn't be here.
I mean, I don't think people that haven't experienced it understand how powerful they are. Right. They pick things up like rag dolls.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't matter if your home is brick; it'll pick your brick home up, and the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly. Yeah.
And this is why most American homes, particularly in places like that, have basements, storm cellars, we call them.
Yeah.
And so if you ever watched The Wizard of Oz, you'll see them try to go into the storm cellar, and that's exactly why we have them, because that's your best chance of surviving, is being down there. So anyway, well, gosh, that's this hour has flown by. So you guys have been fantastic, and I appreciate the friends back home that have shown their love for you. That's been amazing. I want to give the floor to both of you for a few minutes before we wrap up. Why don't we start with Yvonne and your thoughts, about this experience, or maybe and maybe any advice for people or recommendations, and then we'll switch to Walter. So Yvonne, the floor is yours.
Okay.
Well, I must be honest, I'm very happy that we made the move. Even though I've been telling people I'm on holiday mode for now. I'm just taking it easy, seeing what there is and so forth, even though I have been looking for work, but I'm not... most probably not the right thing to say, but I'm not that stressed about it as yet, because like I said, I've worked up until the end, so I'm just trying to take it a bit easy before I get into it again. But yes, the experience here so far, there was not a day that I miss the people in SA, but it's not like I've been sitting and crying my eyes out every day about it. It's really been very nice to be here. And like Walter said, all the people are friendly and nice. There's no more fear of when the kids say they want to go play outside. I mean, there's a park right 2 houses from us. The kids say they want to go and play at the park. It's not like you have to worry or walk with them and say, okay, are you okay? Or things like that. So I must be honest, that's a very big relief for me. I mean, I'm a person that's stressed very quickly, and I must be honest, I haven't had any stress really ever since we got here. So I've really been enjoying it. Advice for people. Yes, it's hard to leave people behind. Sorry. But you know what? It's the best move ever. You must really think about it. You won't go wrong in doing this move. That's all.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you for that, Yvonne. So Walter, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Colonel. I think I have to start by just thanking you personally.
Yes.
Navigating this program is difficult on the best of days, but people, take it easy, calm down.
Yeah.
I have this saying towards some people, when they tell you good morning, walk outside and check if the sun's shining. That is not the Colonel. If the Colonel tells you good morning, it is morning. It is as simple as that. There's no elaborate explanation. There's no mitigating circumstances or anything. What the Colonel has said has been true. What the Colonel has said has panned out. I don't know if I have a couple of minutes to tell the story, but when I left USCIS, I told Yvonne, I'm sorry, I messed this up for us. It's over. We are done. We're not going anywhere. But we just followed your advice to the letter, to the T, and it all panned out. And I would say to people that are in the process of perhaps deciding whether they want to do this or not, at the very least, sit down and give yourself the time, afford yourself the time to talk about this. Talk about it. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying don't do it, like you always say. But what I will say is, between yourself and your significant other, or whether you're alone, sit down and think about it. But at least afford yourself the opportunity to consider this in its entirety and consider it honestly. If it turns out it's not for you, it's not for you. But it is not what a lot of the naysayers and negative talkers want it to be. It's as simple as that.
Well, Walter, because of the time constraint, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to invite you back if you like, when things develop a little further. Maybe you've got a job and a car if you want to come back on and give us an update, because normally I let it run longer, and this is a conversation I think could run a little bit longer, but I've got Lily in the wings waiting, so we're going to go to that. But we didn't get to talk about the flight and about the jabs, if anybody had a problem with the jabs.
So much to tell you, Colonel. Our story about, like I just said, even about USCIS is you could write a movie about it, really. So we'll get there. By all means.
Well, then we'll follow up with another one. So I want to thank both of you, Bye Bye Donkey, for coming on the program, and also for being persistent and being patient with me at the same time, because, you know, I've got thousands of messages, and I've tried to schedule people as quickly as I can. So thank you for that. The last couple weeks have been pretty hectic, and as soon as I thought I'd catch my breath, now I've got like 9 interviews in the next 4 days. So it's including the former ANC MP, who I'll be interviewing off camera here in a couple hours. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure that everyone appreciates it. To all those in the chat, thank you for being here. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it. You're going to be automatically redirected over to the to the Stammtisch with Lily and I. We haven't done that in a few months. So guys, all the best to the kids.
Lily.
Saying hi, Lily. All the best to the kids, and thanks for coming on. And I'm going to put you in the waiting room and let you drop off, okay?
Thank you kindly, Colonel. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Okay, folks, that was Walter and Yvonne with their kids, Bella and Max, up there in Michigan, just outside Detroit, with their experience as refugees. A very positive experience. The only issues they had were with the real estate agent, or South Africans like estate agent. But other than that, they're having a great experience. So thank you to both of them for joining us, and for the kids for popping on. And right after this, can be automatically redirected to the Stammtisch with Lili van der Plas from Dallas. We're going to chat a little bit about what's going on in her life and the experience of folks down in Texas and other things going on. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate everybody. Be sure to hit the like button. How are we doing on likes? We got 347 likes. That's it. Come on, there's almost 600 people here. What's wrong with that? Hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything but a moment of your time. And this was a lovely conversation. How would you not like it unless you're a hate monger? Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. I know some devices don't work so well. So that's going to do it. We'll see you in just a moment with Lily.